Chris Gorney, Mountain High Adventures. Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video, I'm going to talk about scrambling in Red Rock Canyon. The sun just came up. We're getting the reflection off of the sandstone. I call it the Mojave Glow. Scrambling is the activity that kind of bridges the gap between trail running and rock climbing. When we come out into the mountains, usually we start on a trail, we start working our way up, and eventually the terrain gets steeper. And when it becomes so steep that we need to start using our hands for balance and support and even to help pull some moves, that's when we get into the realm of scrambling. When you get into vertical stuff like this up above me here, now we're actually technical rock climbing with usually ropes, unless you're Alex Honnold and you just free solo everything and call it scrambling. But that type of movement in between where it's not exactly hiking anymore, but you're definitely not rock climbing and using gear, but you're moving through the mountains, you're gaining elevation, and you're generally on rocks. That's scrambling. While trail running is really good for cardiovascular fitness and building endurance, sometimes it can get a little repetitive and a little boring. Now, I'm not saying I've ever gotten bored trail running. I absolutely love it. But sometimes the trail doesn't take you all the way to the top of the mountain or to where you really want to get to, these interesting places. So sometimes you got to go off trail and scramble around to make it up to the peak or to some cool mountain feature. At the same time, rock climbing is badass. I love climbing, and that's kind of how I got into all this, was being interested in climbing mountains and getting to the top. But with climbing, there's a lot of gear involved and there's a lot of danger. You know, people rappel off the end of their ropes and die. People slip and fall and hurt themselves, or, you know, fall off the wall or whatever. So there are some drawbacks to it. And the upside to scrambling is it's sort of that in-between space. It hits that sweet spot where you do a bit of trail running or hiking to get the approach done. Then you get to climb around while you're scrambling, but you're never actually climbing vertical rock faces and in too much danger. Now, of course, that's controversial. Some people say that scrambling is more dangerous than climbing because you actually aren't roped up. And if you were to slip and fall in some exposed places, it's imminent death. So leave me a comment down below if you have a difference of opinion in the safety of scrambling. But I believe with the right skills and training, scrambling can be very safe, fun, engaging, exciting, and it really stimulates all the senses. It's a full body workout. You're getting that cardiovascular training, you're building your endurance, and there's a lot of mobility involved. It's kind of like climbing. You're reaching and stretching and moving your body in all different directions. And so for me, scrambling is this all-encompassing activity that mitigates some danger but keeps the adventure fun and engaging throughout. Part of Bridge Mountain. We're way below the actual bridge dome. I believe Bridge Point is probably up on top of there somewhere, kind of obscured. This is the east face of Bridge Mountain facing Red Rock Canyon, the park. You can see the Scenic Loop Drive down here. And off in the distance is Las Vegas. There's the strip. There's people down there gambling their lives away right now. Okay, I just made it up to one of these towers on the east face of Bridge Mountain. I believe it's Eva's Tower. Let's dig into the summit register right here and see what peak we've made it to. Mike's Tower. I thought it was Eva's, but it's Mike's. Let's sign in. Okay, we are descending off Mike's Tower, headed down through this gully, down through here. Pretty amazing rock out here in Red Rock Canyon. But I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit about scrambling, and that's pretty much it. I found it to be a super fun and engaging activity, and as I mentioned, it kind of bridged the gaps between trail running and rock climbing, and it takes you to some amazing places. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about scrambling and what it means to you down below. So drop me a comment, let me know what you think about scrambling, and would you be interested in a scrambling guidebook for the best aesthetic routes in Red Rock Canyon? I got lots of ideas swirling around in my head. Okay, so you might be asking, okay, Chris, well, what do you take when you go scrambling? As I mentioned before, I don't like carrying a lot of gear around with me. That's why I'm not big into climbing as much. So I try to go as light as possible. Of course, you're probably gonna need some water and maybe some snacks, and like a phone to document, maybe a watch. But other than that, I try not to take much with me. I like to go without a pack of any kind because it allows me to have sort of full range of motion and freedom of mobility when I'm out here. And yes, that does kind of limit my ability to go out for super long adventures. For those huge days in the mountains and the bigger ranges, I'll definitely wear a pack and just deal with it. But for shorter adventures, say like 3 hours or less, as long as it's not blazing hot out here in the desert, I can get away with just a naked belt and just a few items. Like I said, I got 500 milliliters of water in the back here. I got my car keys. My phone is in here. I didn't actually bring any snacks on this. I'm getting kind of hungry, but the parking lot's just right out there. I can see Pine Creek Trailhead, so I'll be back there in like 20 minutes. I'm about 2.5 hours on the adventure. I am getting a little thirsty because I've run out of water and didn't bring any food with me, but like I said, we'll be back in 20 minutes. So that should answer your question, what to take with you. It is a little bit subjective. Some people will argue that you need the 10 essentials. People that come from a hiking background always bring like a compass and a map and a first aid kit and all these things. But I've found as long as you move light and fast and you're super careful, you don't need all that stuff. The phone nowadays has, you can download a GPX track or study the route that you're going to do before you go so that you don't have to carry the extra stuff. Granted, the weather is good, like here in Las Vegas all the time. You don't have to carry a bunch of layers. I just have one thin running kind of long sleeve shirt on and shorts. I'm wearing the La Sportiva Mutants. They've come to be one of my favorite scrambling shoes. I generally scramble in Hoka Speed Goats, just coming from trail running and loving the comfort that the Hokas provide. I found that I can scramble pretty good in the Hoka Speed Goats, but they are a bit squishy and don't provide kind of the edging capabilities that some of these scrambles sort of demand. So I did try out these La Sportiva Mutants, and I really like their purchase on the rock and their stiffness, yet they allow me to run on the trails for these approaches. So it's kind of a give and take. If you're going to be running more miles on the approach, maybe go with a more of a trail runner, but you do want Vibram grip rubber on the soles. You need that sticky rubber to purchase the rock when you're scrambling. But if you are taking a shorter approach and you're getting right up onto the rock, you can get away with more of like a La Sportiva Mutant, or even like a climbing approach shoe. La Sportiva makes a lot of great ones. There's other brands out there. I'm not going to dive into that. That'll be a separate video. I do have a bunch of shoes that I scrambled in, and one of these days I'll make a video describing all of the different shoes and what I find are the pros and cons of each. But for now, go light, go fast, be careful. You don't need a whole lot. Just get out here and enjoy the rocks and nature, and breathe in this fresh air and take in these amazing views. If you like outdoor adventure videos, trail, ultra running, scrambling, and climbing, go ahead, smash that red subscribe button over there in the corner. Also, give this video a like or a thumbs up, and share it with one of your friends who you're trying to talk in to go on a fun scramble with you. Okay, I'm off route here, descending down from Mike's Tower, trying to find Dale's Trail. But that's going to wrap up this Mountain High Adventures YouTube episode. Thanks again for following along. Really appreciate the support. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button, like or a thumbs up. Shoot me a comment. What's your opinion about scrambling? And we'll catch you on the next one. And I'm out!